So we're here with an episode of Love, Art, and Writing. And here we have this Nicolette Ken.
Nicoletta.
Nicoletta.
That's how Nicole is pronounced in Italian.
Nicoletta.
Yeah, Nicoletta.
Nicoletta Ken.
King.
King. My bad.
Girl, you're good. You're good.
Nicoletta King. Nicoletta King. Okay. She's a trumpet player and she does art. She's just a multi-talented person.
I just have ADD and too many artsy fartsy hobbies.
I seen her work. She's great. Okay, let's start off with the first question. Can everybody get their name and age?
I am Nick King. I'm 37 years old. I have had my business Nick Snacks and Crafts since November of 2014. I have been playing trumpet for 27 years. That is my first love. I marched with the $1 Million Band under Nick Saban his first 3 years, and he was last. We're not going to talk about that. But I got to go and win a national championship playing my trumpet with $1 Million Band, and honestly, it's my pride and joy to go back and see that. This was a sketch that I did, I think it was 2010.
Okay.
I actually took some pastels and started coloring it in to kind of fit more of who I am now.
Yeah.
And but the one thing that we all crave is love.
Yes.
You know, we want to be loved. We want to have someone to love us, someone who can understand who we are. And I have felt so misunderstood for most of my life. And I feel at home when I'm doing art. I feel at home when I'm writing music, which is why, like I said, even my sheet music has art stains on it. But I want to write my own Ave Maria for my trumpet, because my trumpet is my first love. I've been playing trumpet for 27 years. You don't do something for almost 30 years that you don't enjoy.
Yeah.
That's just...
So that's your first love, and art is your second love?
Yeah, trumpet has been... I can pick up my horn. I don't even have to pick up my horn. I can pick up my mouthpiece and just buzz along. And I am one of the happiest campers because, I say I'm making love to my horn. That's my girl.
You got a name for her?
Oh yeah, Diana Prince.
Diana Prince.
Miss Wonder Woman herself.
Diana Prince.
Let me introduce you to my girl here. This is, I actually bought this trumpet on Facebook for $110. I can't. Oh, she's a little bit in pieces.
Hey, Miss Diana Prince. Nice to meet you. You look beautiful.
But
I've never seen a black one before.
Yeah, I came across it on, like I said, on Marketplace, and there we go. And all it is a black lacquer. You can see where I hold it, the lacquers come off, and where I've chipped it a few times, it's just brass underneath it. But this mouthpiece I have had since college.
Okay.
And you can see how well worn it is. And just, my valves are sticking a little bit. But, this is my first love right here. I keep a folded flag in here for my father.
Yeah.
Hand sanitizer. Gotta have hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
It was a plaque that was for my dad.
Yeah.
And my dad had a Mustang. That's the closest I have found to my dad's Mustang. He had a rag top, so they don't really make too many Hot Wheels. But my dad was so proud of... Yeah, I don't care. My dad was so proud of me playing with the $1 Million Band. You know, that I wear his hoodie all the time.
And so you played for Alabama?
Played in the $1 Million Band from 2006 to 2009.
Yeah.
My very last game in the $1 Million Band was the national championship game of 2009. Although my favorite game was the SEC championship of 2009 when we beat Florida and we made Tim Tebow cry. It was a revenge game, so it was more about the fact that they had beaten us in the SEC championship the year before, and they got to go to the national championship the year before, and then we got to do it. So it was that revenge factor. Like going to California and beating Texas was kind of like the cherry on top of the cake, but beating Tim Tebow was where it was at.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is actually just holy oil that the priest that buried my father, because when I was in Mobile, I was playing at the church where Father Fred is a priest at, and I needed valve oil.
Yeah.
So he gave me some holy oil for my valves. But I have discovered one thing that is better than oil for my valves.
Yeah.
Gun cleaner.
Gun cleaner?
Gun cleaner, yeah. They have like spray gun cleaner that I can just take my valves out, spray it a couple times, and my valves work amazing. It's just having a brass instrument in this kind of weather with it being colder. That's why, because
how do you deal with the breath control? Like, making it...
You gotta breathe down here. You don't breathe up into your chest, you breathe down here.
Okay.
It's a difference between breathing through your chest and breathing through your diaphragm. But yeah, so they're not popping, and it's simply because it's colder. So I just gotta get some... See, this one's popping right, kind of. That one's kind of. But this one's sticking a little bit, so all I would do when I get home, what I'll do is I'll untwist it, pull the valve all the way out, and spray it with that gun cleaner.
Gun cleaner?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because gun cleaner it's metal on metal. That's the main thing because these are the most precious part of the instrument. You get any kind of sand, any kind of grit, and as much as you're sitting here playing and doing this and doing all this, if you have one piece of sand inside the valve, it's going to scratch and scratch, and it's going to go throughout the whole horn, and it's going to scratch, and it's going to tear the horn up from the inside out. So
how do you keep it from like rusting or whatever? Does it rust?
I mean, they can rust, yeah. The main thing is just maintenance. Like, any kind of different instruments require different maintenance. Guitars, you've got to get new strings. You've got to make sure that your pickups are good. With this, you make sure that these three are clean. You can take every one of these valves off. You can take the bottom pieces of the valves. You can actually take the valves themselves completely apart. And you can take every piece off of it and clean you can get that spring that's inside there. You can get all of that as clean as you want. But the easy thing about playing a trumpet and playing a brass instrument, you don't have to worry about water damage.
Okay.
If I were to play a saxophone or a clarinet, I would have to worry about water damaging the corks, damaging the buttons themselves. I don't have to worry about that with this instrument.
Okay.
And another thing that I check when I put my valve back in is making sure the valve is in there properly.
Well, how do you clean? Do you use like an instrument?
They have you know, like a pipe snake drain with the bristles on the end, the long.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, like a very skinny version of that. You can get trumpet cleaning kits, and it'll have valve oil. It'll have the small bristle brushes, the big bristle brushes, and it'll have everything you need just to get it as fully clean. I need to take better care of her because, you know, I like her being nice and shiny and black, and because her name is Wonder Woman, you know,
Wonder Woman.
I like the little battle scars that Miss Diana Prince here has.
Diana.
But I don't know, she kind of sexy being all black, you know?
Yeah.
And don't she look good in black?
Yeah, she looks great. I was expecting to see a gold one because I had never seen a black one.
Yeah, it was just one of those things I came across online, and when I messaged the guy, a lot of times when you find the colored horns, they're plastic.
Yeah.
They don't play as well. So I asked him, I was like, is it a metal horn or a plastic horn? He said it was metal, and I said, take my money. Just take my money. And it came with the gig bag.
So that would be the difference between a plastic horn and a metal horn. The metal horn sounds better.
Well, the metal horn is going to have a the tone that you need. Plastic horns are kind of pitchy. If you've got like about the cheapest trumpet I've ever bought was
that one?
$100. Got the horn. It did come with a mouthpiece, but this is the mouthpiece I've been using since high school. But it came with the whole gig bag, and it zips up. So, and it's a good sturdy gig bag for $100.
Yeah.
I love to teach trumpet to kids because kids are so enthusiastic about learning how to play an instrument, and everybody wants to play a trumpet because I mean, come on, it's a trumpet.
Violins are pretty exotic too.
I give people credit who can play violin, cello, viola, all of that, because I can play guitar. I can play bass guitar. I cannot play a violin. I probably could if I tried.
Yeah.
But
you're a trumpet girl.
This is my baby.
Yes, your baby.
This is my baby. Trumpet, I learned first, and then I learned bass guitar. I learned piano, saxophone, guitar. I can play clarinet, I can play trombone, I can play baritone, tuba, drums, various percussion in general. About the only things I can't play are violins, violas, and a flute. I don't understand how a flute works.
What about a harp?
I mean, as long as I knew what notes the strings were, I'm pretty sure I can just lean it on and kind of figure it out as I go.
And your trumpet. Are you performing at any shows right now?
I have not been performing with anybody in a very long time. I would love to join some kind of band in the Birmingham, Tuscaloosa area, but I know that there's a German restaurant in downtown Tuscaloosa that they do a talent night on Thursdays, I believe. And I can just show up with my horn and play.
So, as a child, who was your musical inspiration?
My hands down trumpet god is Miles Davis.
Miles Davis. I haven't heard of him.
Oh, Miles Davis is like, his album Kind of Blue I can put that on repeat over and over, and it just, his tone, he has this very rich, sweet, because a lot of trumpet players out there will have that big, bold, brassy sound to themselves, and it's just very in your face, bam, and it kind of punches you in the face, but Miles Davis is that smooth, classic jazz that you can just kind of sit back and listen to. Herb Alpert was another one of my favorites. Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass.
I gotta remember all of them.
Yeah, my dad got me into Herb Alpert. He had, again, that sweeter tone, but he had like a little to his sound where it's mild, very smooth and chill. Herb Alpert was, you know, and I guess it was the cultural difference of, you know, Davis being a Harlem trumpet player and Herb Alpert being a Hispanic Mexican trumpet player. Love Louis Armstrong, Dizzy Gillespie, jazz is in general, Glenn Miller, John, you know, Coltrane, all of the it's my favorite to play, honestly.
Your favorite to play?
Yeah, my first trumpet solo was actually a Glenn Miller tune called Tuxedo Junction when I was in high school, and I actually got to play that for both of my parents about 9 days before my mother passed. So my mom actually got to hear my very first trumpet solo.
I bet she loved it.
Yeah, I know they both were very, very happy. My dad loved me being out. He was very proud of me for singing with my mom.
Okay.
And anymore.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. That's great. So you already said how long you had the business. What's the name of your business again?
Nick Snacks and Crafts. I'm Nick. Those are my knacks and crafts.
Okay. Okay. I already talked about how long you've been butter.
But that is all hand cross-stitched that I did in college for my dad. It took me almost 2 years to make that for my father. And when my father passed away, I kind of was like, yeah, nobody gets that. I made that. That's mine.
Yeah.
And it was always just a display piece at my shows because it's a bigger piece. It draws people in, and it definitely was never for sale.
Yeah.
I made it for my daddy. You know, I've been doing that longer than I've been playing the trumpet.
Yeah.
But it's, I need a new prescription because staring at these tiny little holes has been fun. When you have a cross-stitch pattern, it's basically these pixelated kind of 8-bit pieces. These grids are marked into 10 by 10 sections, and some people will number them. I don't. It just, in my brain, the 10 by 10 makes sense.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily have to number it. Some people even take the piece that they're working on, and they'll take water-soluble pencils and fabric markers like that, and they'll put those 10 by 10 grids on what they're actually working on. I don't need it because I can kind of see where I'm going with everything. It makes sense to my brain.
Yeah.
Like even my little case that I carry my stuff in. This, I could make that picture if I wanted to, because it's in that grid, pixelated kind of pattern. And Pinterest is amazing for having, because have you seen people who do the perler beads?
No. I be seeing people do, hair on there. I'm good about like looking at different hairstyles and stuff on there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I do. A friend of mine made me those because he likes doing perler beads.
And because I love to eat, I love to look at recipes on there.
So these are what perler beads are. They're plastic. Just like plastic beads that you can, when you're making a piece like this, it's a flat piece with spikes coming up, and you put these little circle pieces down on it to get your design, and then you take and you iron it, and it's one solid piece. And a friend of mine made this for me, just a little Game Boy, and if I wanted to, I could put a magnet on the back of it and have me a little fridge magnet. But I don't know, I've always kept this in my purse. It makes me smile, but because it's got that same pixelated design, I can look up any character, any superhero character, any video game character, and if I can't find a design for it on Pinterest under the heading cross stitch, I can look up perler bead, and I can find it that way.
Okay.
It's very easy to find patterns to make stuff. Honestly, I have too many things that I want to do. But that's also the ADD going, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Show me that. Show you that. So, what we were talking about before, this is my be-all, end-all, is my planner. And what do you know? My business logo. Right there.
Nicks and crafts.
Yep. Nicks and crafts.
Nicks and crafts.
I'm Nick. Those are my knacks and crafts.
Yep.
And what I love about this planner, I'm definitely ordering the same one when I think I've got until February on this planner, but I can do each month, which as you can tell, December just started, so we're just getting going, but it also has a reflect on your month and basically grid patterning on pages to where if I wanted to do some kind of my own pattern for cross stitch, I have an extra page there. It's got the month part, the week to week part, and on this I can, write trumpet, writing, art, and I can say, okay, I did it 4 days this week, I did it 7 days this week, to keep up with my own stuff, because if I don't get in those habits of doing it on the regular, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I have to get into that routine of actually doing stuff. And then what I love is the back half of this notebook is legit just cross-stitch design material.
Okay.
So I'm definitely getting another one of these planners when the time comes. Because a lot of the orders that I do get, like that baby announcement, it's a custom order. Somebody wants, okay, it's a birth of a baby, so I have to find a font that would work. I have to stick, pencil in. I'll show you how I did the last one, which took me several times to get the sizing just right. And even here you can see I've got lines where I was like, okay, that's too much spacing. But I've got to get my spacing right, and then I'll count from this side to this side how many spaces I'm going to be doing for that line. Then I'll find the center point. This one, 28 spaces. There's my center point. The birthday. Oh, I didn't like this extra space here, so let's cut that out. So that makes it 16. Center point. And the same thing. That way it just... I like the uniformity. I like when I make something, especially when it's a custom order. Especially when it is something like a baby announcement, that it is as perfect as I can get it. Well, my mother passed, so my mom actually got to hear my very first trumpet solo.
I bet she loved it.
Yeah, I know they both were very, very happy. My dad loved me being out. He was very proud of me for sticking with mom.
Okay. So, how financially successful is your business right now?
Right now, not very. I have had success in the past by working farmers markets and Comic-Con. I love going to Comic-Con and getting to dress up as a cosplay, various characters. Everybody says with glasses I should do Velma from Scooby-Doo. So, I mean, I would have fun playing Velma. Scooby-Doo was one of my favorites. But I get to dress up, I get to show people my art, I get to be around weird, nerdy, artsy people all the time. I get to, rub shoulders with some folks like William Shatner and Leah Thompson and Barry Bostwick, and then I get to hang out with my art friends that are working the Comic-Con circuit. I want to get back to it, because where I was 4 or 5 years ago is I was going to Comic-Cons every other month. I was working artist markets and farmers markets. In the meantime, I was doing good. a matter of my poor choices, not just partners, but putting myself on the back burner the last few years. And I know I can do it again. I know I can get back to where I was and get better than I was.
You're gonna do it.
Oh, I will. I absolutely will. The man upstairs says I got to. And I'm gonna make it happen. It's just one step at a time, one day at a time, one moment at a time, and sometimes one breath at a time.
Okay. Well, what would you say are some of those obstacles that's getting in your way as both a business owner and a trumpet player?
My biggest obstacle has always been myself. I have made choices for partners I was with to put their needs ahead of my own when they wouldn't do the same for me. I've made choices that were poor choices in desperate situations, and I'm having to live with the consequences of that. But I know now where I was 6 months ago. I'm in a much better, much more stable place. I suffer with mental illness because of my mother committing suicide, and I have for 21 years. I deal with it the best I can without medication, but I know my brain doesn't function properly because of the fact that I am mental illness. I don't try to sugarcoat it. I try to advocate for mental health awareness, suicide prevention awareness, and you wouldn't fault a diabetic for having to take insulin. So why would you fault somebody like me? My brain doesn't function properly. I need to use my medication, and Tuscaloosa has the resources to allow me to get back on my medication, and I know how to use it. I just got to get a couple of paychecks under my belt so that I can afford my medication. Because when I'm on my medication, when I'm stable, I have more focus. I can use my planner way more, and I can get my act together a little bit better. And I think that's been the biggest obstacle is not having medication.
You'll
Absolutely.
I'm trying to find out. Well, we talked about so much. We both talked about everything. Okay. Well, what would you say are some of those obstacles that's getting in your way as both a business owner and a trumpet player?
My biggest obstacle has always been myself. I have made choices for partners I was with to put their needs ahead of my own when they wouldn't do the same for me. I have made choices that were poor choices in desperate situations, and I'm having to live with the consequences of that. But I know now where I was 6 months ago. I'm in a much better, much more stable place. I suffer with mental illness because of my mother committing suicide, and I have for 21 years. I deal with it the best I can without medication, but I know my brain doesn't function properly because of the fact that I am mental illness. I don't try to sugarcoat it. I try to advocate for mental health awareness, suicide prevention awareness, and you wouldn't fault a diabetic for having to take insulin. So why would you fault somebody like me? My brain doesn't function properly. I need to use my medication, and Tuscaloosa has the resources to allow me to get back on my medication, and I know how to use it. I just got to get a couple of paychecks under my belt so that I can afford my medication. Because when I'm on my medication, when I'm stable, I have more focus. I can use my planner way more, and I can get my act together a little bit better. And I think that's that's been the biggest obstacle is not that application.
You'll get.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm trying to find out where I'm at. We talked about so much. We both talked about everything. Without me even asking.
Yeah, we were just kind of circling around it.
That's why I skipped some of the stuff. Okay. Would you still love being a business owner and a trumpet player, even if you never reached that level of success that you want? If you said yes, you would describe them how much playing the trumpet and owning your business means.
Well, my business came about because I would do a lot of handmade gifts for friends. Always have. I've always made things for people as, oh, it's your birthday, oh, it's Christmas, here, let me make this for you. And people started telling me, why don't you start selling it? Why don't you? And that's kind of how my business came about 7-8 months after my father passed away. The same year my father passed away is when I started Mix Snacks and Grabs. And I've always created. My mom was the artistic Stevie Nicks, witchy woman, like child of the 70s. Whereas my dad was that Vietnam vet cop, logic brain, and he taught me how to think priorities and responsibilities over fun and entertainment. And so it was a combination of me taking my mom's artistic talents and my dad's logic brain and putting them together. And it hasn't always been easy, but I still call myself a business owner, even though my business has been struggling for the majority of the last 3.5 years. But it's because I know where I was, and I know I can get back to it. I just have to discipline myself through getting back on my medication, through getting myself straight after a tumultuous relationship for 7. And just getting my priorities straight and focusing on myself, finishing my degree. Because I'd still be playing my trumpet. I just play my trumpet for myself because I love it. Part of the reason I'm playing again is because one of my minors is in music. I have to, when I go back to school, I'm going to have to re-audition for the School of Music at Alabama.
I was going to ask you, was you going to play back in the band when you go back to Alabama?
Look, I wore that uniform for 4 years. I wore that heavy uniform in March Band Camp for 4 years. I put in my 4 years. I won a national championship. However, I love the $1 Million Band, and I would actually like to go back and be a trumpet advisor, and be, I can work on my degree for my, get my literature degree with my minors in music and creative writing, and help the next generation who are in the middle of the band. Those young bucks who can march in 90+ degree heat wearing a wool uniform. I'm too old for that. I ain't doing it again. I put in my time. I'm good. But I would love to go back and help that next generation have the kind of fun that I had when I was marching in the $1 Million. Some of my lifelong friends, I made a $1 Million Band. It's a family of 450+ people. It gives you a sense of pride. I got $1 Million Band tattooed on me because it meant that much to me. My trumpet tattooed on me because it meant that much to me. Whether I am a successful businesswoman or not, I'm not going to stop doing my art. I'm not going to stop playing my art because it brings me the one thing that not even God above can bring to me, and that's peace of mind. I can pray as much as I want, but when I'm struggling and I'm looking for some way out of my own head, I can grab a paintbrush, and I can put something on paper. I can grab my horn, I put on the radio and play along with radio. And write down some kind of story, and I can be that Stephen King gothic Niecy that I want to be, you know. I can be that weird goth artsy fartsy kid and get out of my own head and put all of those demons that are up here at bay by putting something out there. Just whether it be creating it with my hands or with my mouth playing the horn.
Yeah. It deals with depression real good, because I remember I was depressed for a while, and that's what started me to paint. I already knew how to draw, but the pain, it helped me with my depression and stuff.
Yeah, because sometimes you can't get out of your own head, no matter if someone, you know, it's a combination of putting on a good album and getting away from your own troubles by putting something physically out there that gets you away from your own trauma or whatever is going on in your head.
That's what I'm talking about. This is what love, art, and writing is all about. This is why I created this show. People like us, you know, people that, you know, I feel like get looked over for the famous people, because we be us going out here doing the work, you know what I'm saying? They just want to do it for other people. But we behind the scenes, we do it.
I mean, when it comes to, I'm recognized by my own tribe.
Yeah.
I'm seen by the people who I don't mind seeing the different facets of who I am. The fame, the glory, the money. It's materialistic thing. It's not like you can take it with you at the end of the day. I've got friends who stopped playing their horn after college, whatever they played. They just stopped playing after college. I'm still playing mine.
Exactly. Don't know.
And it's because I want to. It's because I enjoy it. And nobody, like, you know, it's one thing, oh, I'm a musician, and oh, you play guitar, cool. So do so many other people. But how many people do you know that are, you know, trumpet's kind of a weird thing. And
really weird. It's unique. It's unique.
yeah, it's not what you hear as a common principal instrument from somebody. When I was living in Mobile and I was playing at Mass, I was playing at the Hispanic Mass. I speak Italian. I can understand Spanish because of my knowledge of Italian. And it was kind of funny. I'm up in the choir loft with the organist and the choir, and I'm listening to what they're playing, and I started playing, and I looked down, and whole Hispanic Mass, I see people turning around going, "That's a trumpet." That's a trumpet. You know, because it's so unexpected, but it's a good unexpected, you know. I'd love to get back to where I'm performing at quinceañeras. I'd love to get back to where I am playing at church and at Mass, because, you know, growing up Catholic, you know, there is a lot of Hispanic folks that are Catholic. So it's very easy to get into that community, and you know, it would be nice to have all of that good stuff going on, but to get a student, maybe a couple of students, because I can play and I have the reputation of being with the $1 Million Man. I have the reputation that I have behind me. Passing on my knowledge is something that we want to do. I have taught people who are just play-by-ear musicians. You know, they know how to play an instrument, but they don't know how to read sheet music. Taught them how to read sheet music so that they can become better musicians. Being able to pass on knowledge I have to somebody else, something that's going to last, that's the kind of legacy I want to have.
Exactly.
Being able to have a cross stitch, it's a baby announcement for somebody. That, you know, when that kid grows up and has kids of their own, they're probably still going to have that cross stitch because, oh yeah, they got that when they were a baby. You know, that's the kind of stuff that's going to make my legacy last. I don't need the glory and the fame and all of that goes with it. It'd be nice, it would absolutely be wonderful to have shmoneys come in left, right, front, and center. But it's more about my enjoyment for my love of creation, my love of art, my love of music. It's not
What is it about?
yeah. I mean, God gave me the talent, and why would I be selfish enough to hoard it and not share it? You know, that's why, like with my business, some of the events that I've done is like the sip and paints. You know how you can go to those,
Yeah.
you know, take a bottle of wine and go learn how to do. I've done that privately with folks, you know, whether it be couples or kids' parties or something along those lines. And I'll do the sip and paints, and it's more intimate, like when it's a couple just having an anniversary date or something. And you know, I show up with everything you need. I show up with your canvas, I show up with your paint, I show up and teach you how to do this. I show up with a bottle of wine. You know, we have a good time. And I know I can get that going again because that's something people enjoy. It's a shared experience they have with their partner, and then they get a piece of art that they can hang up on the wall.
Exactly. Yeah, that's lovely. You're lovely. Well, y'all have it. This is Nicoletta.
Nick. Just call me Nick.
But we'll call her Nick for short. Nick King. This is Love Art and Writing. It was a pleasure doing the show with you. For real.
It was a pleasure actually getting to meet you, and I can't wait to introduce you to so many of the artists that I know.
Yeah.
Because I like I said, with working the Comic-Con circuit, I have networked with so many good artists around the area. And not musicians, actual artists, creators, just people that enjoy just for the sake of it. You know what I mean?
And I want to network with them.
Oh, absolutely. We got this girl.
And I got a poster for you. Oh yeah, when you finish, I want you to play that trumpet. I want you to play. I'm gonna let it shine. This little lighter man. You know how to play that?
I'd have to look it up, but give me a minute. But yeah, I could look up the sheet music and I could.
Let's play one of your best pieces.
Yo, you play one of your best pieces?
Oh God, the brain. I can play Baby Alabama.
That'll work.
What?
No, I'll find something and.
Oh, you can just do Mary Had a Little Lamb, like the violin. Just Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Yeah, well, I'll honestly, this little light of mine, that would be should be an easy sheet music for me to find. So, because like I said, Pinterest got everything.
Okay.
So you'll get to see me look at a piece of music, play it for a little bit, and then I'll actually play it. It's really not going to be that. I went to school for music. That was kind of a go-to demand about being a musician at the University of Alabama. It's called sight reading. They'll put a brand new sheet of paper in front of you, a piece of music you've never seen, play it. You got 2 minutes to look it over, play it.
Wow. So you can look that over with 2 minutes, man, but
I ain't that good. But, you know, as far as musicianship, I've always had to work at my musician, at being a musician. But that's part of what I enjoy about it is because I have limited power. So, yeah, I'll find it.
okay. All righty then. Well, that's the end of the Love, Art, and Writing.
Ah.